Well, what's this going to do for the brand of Manchester United? We can talk now to Josh Wheeler, who's the founder of B Broadcast, a brand consultancy based in Trafford. Josh, hello.
Hello.
So, what will this do for the United brand?
So I think it is going to revitalise the United brand. I think it's been City for the last couple of years, really, and whenever you go...
And do you get that a lot? Do people say that to you a lot? Is it United or City? Which brand is faring better at the moment?
All the time.
Do you?
That's the thing that stands out about Manchester. We know there's so much more, but when you go to London, when you look internationally, it's that. And it's always that question, are you City or United? And I think United has waned a little bit. I think it's still the biggest club, it's the most talked about club, but it's been City, the focus has been there. But just today, we're able to see international media, what they're talking about. They're talking about this. They're excited about this. And actually, I was half expecting one of the callers then to be on the negative side. You know, I'm not looking forward to this. But actually, there does seem to be this kind of overwhelming excitement towards this, which is, if I'm a brand person from Man U, I'm, sitting back in my chair and I'm happy today.
And what about the wider Manchester area? What will this do for Manchester's reputation?
I think this is... times are tough. Globally, times are tough. And actually, this feels like one of the most exciting periods for Manchester. We talk about the Towers and Deansgate and, how things are changing, and some of that's good, some of that's bad. This looks like, depending on the detail, public and private investment coming together. Right now, if this kicks off in June, which I think that's when, work is going to begin, we're going to have Oasis, we're going to have Labour in power, and we're going to have, United almost taking its trophy. It feels like resurgence of the 90s coming back. And I don't know about you, but I'm feeling that positivity today. And I'm not particularly a big football fan, but watching those videos, I'm excited, and I feel proud to be Manc today. It feels exciting.
I know you just mentioned June. We haven't had any confirmation yet, have we, on when the work will start? So I just do need to say that in case people go, what? Yeah, so officially we don't know yet, but I know that June has been bandied about, hasn't it? And do they need to be careful of the United brand here? Like the way that they're releasing this information about the new stadium. We heard there the architect talking, and they had this music in the background to make it all sound very cool and very trendy and, very arty.
Yeah.
A lot of work will have gone into how they're presenting this.
Yes, absolutely. And those pieces are masterpieces in communication. The song you talked about, the emotive song, all of that is picked well in advance. I think what is really interesting, there's two things. They need to be really, really tight in how they communicate this stuff. The reality is people who live right by that stadium will probably be feeling quite nervous right now and thinking about what the future holds for them, rightly so. And the owners, the club, they need to be talking to them directly, and we all need to be making sure that happens. I think the other bit that's really interesting, just talking to a fan on the way in, the first point that he said to me, I was like, what do you think? And he was like, well, we're going to pay for it, aren't we? And I was like, that's the first thing in people's minds, and that's not necessary. That's been one of the questions that's come up today. So it's almost, get ahead of those types of things.
Yeah, because there is no clarity at the moment on where the money's coming from.
But he, outside of that, was dead excited about everything else. He wanted to talk, a bit like Ben said, the experience, bringing other people into it. That stuff really matters. But you've got to get those questions, they have to be answered pretty quickly.
Yes.
That's the thing, that because without that, people will start to fill in the gaps, and that's
and maybe wrongly so.
Completely so.
Yeah.
Trying to fill in information that questions and challenges that people face. That bit needs to be controlled. We've done the big, flashy, exciting. Everyone's on the same page. Now, give us the detail. The devil is often in the detail.
Yes.
That is what we need to be looking at next.
Very interesting. Thank you so much for your thoughts. That's Josh Wheeler, who's the founder of B Broadcast, which is a brand consultancy based in Trafford.